Ethan, look out!
Oh my god.
Today we're taking a look at Evil Raptor's Far, Far West, the newest entry in the 4-player co-op horde shooter genre. You play as a collection of robot cowboys living in the Wild West, utilizing a huge arsenal of different weapons, magic spells, and roguelite upgrades as you take on a never-ending skeleton army. This is a game I've been keeping an eye on for months after I tried the playtest earlier last year, as I think it's a super promising entry in a genre with a lot of tight competition. When you have to compete with games like Deep Rock Galactic, Helldivers, or Darktide, you have big shoes to fill. But I think this game really has something special to it. The game starts you off in the Saloon, your hub for gearing up for missions. In true horde shooter fashion, everything you need to customize your character is here. The first thing you'll likely find is the selection of weapons, starting you off with the quad-cylinder machine gun and the revolver sidearm. You'll eventually gain access to a current total of 5 primary and 5 secondary weapons, each one with their own unique identity and strengths. One of the most appealing parts about the game is, of course, the robot cowboy wizards, which means you currently have access to a total of 25 different spells across pyro, electric, acid, voodoo, and cactus schools. The magic system offers a ton of versatility in terms of build potential and is one of the things that really sets Far, Far West apart from other horde shooters. Also, it just looks dope as hell. I particularly really like the cactus magic that uses control abilities like bombs, traps, turrets, and walls to sort of redirect the flow of enemies that lets you just murder everything. Fire spells do massive damage, electric spells offer a disgusting level of mobility, acid spells focus on rot damage, and voodoo magic combines life-draining magic with team healing and support in a pretty unique way. The Saloon also has a shooting range, mini-games, gambling, cosmetics to work towards, and even NPCs to talk to. So all it needs now is a dance floor and it'll be perfect. Once you're ready to get started, you have the choice of different randomized missions that have rotating boss fights and main objectives, utilizing maps sort of reminiscent of Helldivers that randomly lay out different objectives for you to find as you make your way around the map. Once you make it in-game, your job is as follows: complete the main objective, defeat the boss, murder everything that gets in your way, and then get out.
Alright.
Joe. And while you try to do this, you'll be sidetracked roughly 20 times every mission as you find a seemingly endless amount of side objectives, secrets, puzzles, and extra combat encounters to explore. You'll start by finding an enemy spawner, which leads you to a side quest nearby, and that will reveal a collectible music disc, and that's also hidden next to a lost cowboy gravesite, and then this loop sort of continues until you spend an hour just discovering all the different POIs on the map. And every step of the way, you're getting swarmed non-stop by hundreds of enemies that constantly keep the pressure up. The combat system is deceptively simple at first, but by the time you finish your first run, you realize how much depth is hidden inside, especially from the Jokers, which is the roguelite upgrade system that drops different perks at various rarities throughout the mission to alter your run. More damage, reduced gravity, faster move speed, and plenty of other awesome upgrades that I'm not going to spoil here. The spells you brought in also have a surprising amount of interactability between them to encourage utilizing multiple spell schools at once, allowing you to do things like combine acid and fire to create tornadoes or explosions, infuse your cactus turrets and mines with any other elemental energy, and plenty more. But even with all these bells and whistles, nothing else matters unless the combat is engaging long-term and has a good level of challenge for every type of player that is still enjoyable. Luckily, the game has 5 different difficulty options, and let me tell you right now, this game gets difficult if you want it to. But it's not the artificial difficulty that some games fall back on by just increasing health and damage values across the board, and instead introduces entirely new mechanics and enemies as the difficulty goes up. I've been playing constantly this week since it dropped, and I'm still seeing new enemy types and unique encounters to keep things fresh. Between tanky bulls, flying snipers, invisible Wolverine skeletons, and very familiar screaming bomb carriers, my friends and I are actually wiping on higher difficulties, which has been a really fun challenge to try and overcome.
Oh my god, everything exploding. There was a
Boss fights in particular in this game are incredible. High movement, action-packed encounters that require constant repositioning, managing of ads, and adaptability if you want to survive.
What is this? He's throwing tables at us!
In particular, the movement here is a massive winner. While you do have a horse that's great for getting around the map quickly, clever use of momentum, dashing, and the occasional mobility spell can have you flying around the map fast enough that you might not even need it, especially during combat when you're getting swarmed by hundreds of enemies at once. You can actually skate in this game, which feels so good, and the freedom this provides helps make the combat loop so much more enjoyable. Once the game clicks and you understand the weapons, spells, power-ups, and the movement, combat becomes addicting. No matter how much content they add in the way of cosmetics or secrets or anything else, games like this only work if players can have fun doing the same combat loop over and over and over, and the devs have comfortably hit the mark there for me.
Got him.
Nice carry.
Oh, fucking snake! A strong contrast I think this game has to basically every other big horde shooter on the market right now is they've achieved this great balance between power fantasy and enjoyable difficulty. Games like Darktide give you plenty of fun options that can make you feel strong, but there's this common intended sort of vibe of insurmountable odds coming from the enemies you face. Like no matter how strong or how good you become, you can't escape this feeling like you're the underdog. And that's all well and good, but in Far Far West, you become the danger. You can absolutely go on a power trip, slinging spells, flying around super fast, and murdering tons of enemies in a uniquely satisfying way, while still finding a very strong level of challenge in the higher difficulties if you choose to take that route. I think the addition of the roguelike feature in the main mode of the game, compared to games like Vermintide that have it but it's a separate feature from the core loop, is this game's secret sauce for success.
Oh man.
This delicate flexibility between power and difficulty results in a really charming experience that lets Evil Raptor experiment with encounter design in ways that are unique to the genre and is one of the main reasons I think this game is going to succeed.
Where's that pig? Real big. My dearie.
Nice, we duped it.
They've also laid out a really good start for the progression system. Now, it is early access, and I do think there is still some work to be done here, but right now you have the ability to upgrade all of your weapons and even your character itself with permanent stat boosts to increase damage, mobility, fire rate, and lots of others. This allows you to really push your favorite loadout to its limits as you progress into the higher difficulties. Committing to specific spell schools also rewards you with increased experience gain to push deeper into the spell tree faster to unlock those late game spells. And the Joker upgrades from earlier can also be purchased in the Saloon as permanent versions that you can equip to your character and your weapons to go into every run with, either via leveling up and purchasing them directly, or by gambling your souls to try and unlock strong things earlier. Some of these traits are absolutely build-defining and can turn an already potent weapon into an absolute monster, especially when you find those same upgrades in the run itself and stack their effects multiple times. Outside of combat progression, the game has a bunch of skins for your character, your horse, and has skins for all of the weapons on the way. Now there are some cool skins here, and I especially like the flame-painted mecha horse.
Oh, dude.
But I do want to be honest and say that I think the aesthetic customization is something that could still use a little bit of work. Most of the skins available right now are just different NPCs from around the town or various quest givers scattered between all the maps, and they do look cool, but right now there isn't any ability to customize your own character appearance. Most of the other games in the genre offer customizable outfits with different slots for your head and chest and things like that, so it does feel a little restrictive to only have about a dozen or so skins to choose from, especially when you mostly only play as established characters from town instead of your own guy. Now it is important to remember that this is early access and they do have more skins on the way for players and mounts, and I expect that any further additions will be original unique skins, but they did say they were open to adapting to community feedback here, so I do hope this is something they've at least considered. And in the same vein, it's also important to remember that early access means there's lots of gameplay features to come as well. The weapons, spells, jokers, and maps in the game that we have right now are a blast, but I would like to see the pool of each of them grow just a little bit. We've also only got one enemy faction right now, and not a huge amount of different boss fights and main objectives to rotate between, but everything that I just said is all confirmed to be coming in future updates, and right now there's still a ton of stuff to sink your teeth into. The groundwork they've established is really promising in my opinion. I have not had this much fun in a new Horde Shooter with my friends in a really long time. But yeah, that's Far Far West for me right now. It is a great game, and I really recommend checking it out and supporting what the developers are trying to do here. Horde shooters include some of my favorite games of all time, but it hasn't really been pushed forward as an entire genre in a while, and I really think that this is the game to do it. The way the game controls and feels, and the focus shift from gritty, crunchy combat to an almost boomer shooter style of movement and gunplay is the freshest coat of paint I could have asked for a Horde shooter, and I cannot wait to see what the devs cook up next. So, let me know what you think of Far Far West in the comments below, and let me know what game you think I should check out next, and I'll see you all in the next one.